UFC Shanghai Nurmagomedov versus Song is upon us this Saturday. And, these are one of the cards I feel like weird things happen because I know this card like starts like 6 a.m. my time. I'm not even going to be here. I'm going to be in Mexico when this card's happening, or like I'll just be getting back. But I don't even know if it's one of those things. I don't even know if I'm gonna be streaming for it, because who's gonna really wake up at 6 a.m. Eastern time and be like, yeah, man, let's get into these early prelims of the fucking China card. Last time there was a China card, like I remember waking up and like Johnny Walker chinned like the next best prospect out of China because the guy had chinny legs. Let's hope that we don't wake up to some weird news about the main event. My main event 100 plus hours video is gonna probably be dropped tomorrow. I'm gonna have that, so I am gonna have my rating, not my. I'm gonna have my prediction on it today. But this is like, I still have a couple more fights I want to watch before I'm solidified, but I do think my prediction here is going to be pretty solid for the main event. But before we get to the full card picks, we're going to run our play picks, and I have a good prize play pick for this one. The first one's going to be Umar Nurmagomedov and Song Yadong going more than 4.5 rounds. And then we're also going to get Sean Woodson involved in this. Where is Sean Woodson on this card? He's early. Damn, he's prelims. We're going to get Sean Woodson and Jack Jenkins going more than 2.5. I think this fight's going to go more than 2.5, firstly, because I feel like both guys are game. Jack Jenkins is very durable, and I feel like Sean Woodson's very good at using his range. He does have finishing ability, but like his finishing ability usually comes out when he's going against chin ability. And I just feel like Jack Jenkins doesn't really show chin ability too often. These odds are starting to get chinny to the legs. Maybe he contracts the chinny to the leg disease from Jack Della Maddalena, and then next thing you know, fucking Woodson's oblique kicking him and just chinning his legs. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He could prove me wrong and show he's chinny all of a sudden, but Jack Jenkins can take a shot. Sean Woodson, to knock him out, you're going to have to probably have really good power. And I know Jenkins has some power. I just don't think he's going to have enough power to get Woodson out of there. And I think Woodson uses his range well, so that's going to go more than 2.5. For the main event, I'm essentially saying it's probably going to go the distance. I think it's going to go more than 4.5 because Song's durable. Song's good and he's powerful, but he's not chinning Umar. Let me knock on wood. I'm going to knock on wood. I just don't want to wake up to bad news again. China cards give me PTSD. No, but I think Umar Nurmagomedov is a very talented person who's not going to get chinned. Even if he gets caught, like getting chinned's a choice. Umar makes the choice every time to not get chinned, guys. So those are my prize pick lay that I have for you guys. Make sure you're using code HMA when you're using prize picks. Play $5, get $150 if your first lineup hits. Without further ado, let's get into the full card prediction. Starting with this fight, we got Ding Meng and Cam Nelson in this one. I looked into Ding Meng a little bit. He has power. He's very experienced. Like, he's known for power more than anything. So, like, the ability to knock someone out. He's 6'2", good frame on him. Going against Cam Nelson, who's actually pretty good. I believe I've seen him a couple times in the LFA. It could be the LFA, but he's making his UFC debut in China against a Chinese person. Now, I usually say, yeah, just go to China, man. I don't know for this one. Ding Meng's not that crazy. Cam Nelson's gonna try to grapple him. I feel like it's gonna be a grappling sense. Their welterweights are pretty tall for the welterweights. Meng is around 6'2". Nelson's around 6. I know the underdog pick is Cam Nelson, and honestly, it's not like I did enough footage to even have a solidified pick, but I remember not being impressed looking at Ding Meng. And looking at Cam Nelson, I was impressed either, but his grappling looks a little bit like significantly better, whereas his striking isn't the best, but I feel like he can maybe hang with Ding Meng. He just got to be careful for that Chinese power, because that's a real thing. But I have a feeling that like a lot of Chinese people on this card aren't gonna actually get it done. This could be one of those cards where like all the hometown heroes just lose. No, I'm actually gonna go the underdog for the first one, Cam Nelson. Like I said, I didn't do too much footage on this. It's not like a Mystic Kenny underdog pick, but I do think it's a sneaky underdog pick. It's pretty much pick 'em odds, slight, I know Meng's more experienced with all those fights, nearly 50 total professional fights compared to Nelson, who I believe has like around 8 pro fights. But Nelson lost once, and I feel like he hasn't shown too many weaknesses. Like I said, the striking is the only thing that can get him out of there, but I think Cam Nelson, the Canadian, is going to get it done. Damn, he's Canadian though, Kenny. Holy crap. Do Canadians have what it takes? All right. Next up, Jingnan. Let me see how great I can pronounce names this card. Going against Juliana Polastri. Jingnan is not great from anything I've seen. It's not like Postri's a world beater, but I have a hard time seeing Jingnan from what I've seen, like winning a fight. Both coming off of losses, but I do trust Polastri a bit in her striking more than I trust Jingnan in her striking. So I am going to go Polastri for the WMA fight. We're the best WMA predictors. Let me just lie for no reason. No, we're actually not. We actually been getting a lot better at WMA. I actually want to do decent in this card. Make sure my prediction rate is still looking spiffy this year, because he is coming to the end, eh? But yeah, I got Polastri beating Jingnan. We'll see how it goes. Next up, this is a pretty cool one. We got Lawrence Louis versus Hector Santiago. Hector Santiago is a Brazilian making their debut. Now, Lawrence has that city kickboxing-esque style. He's Chinese, I believe. I don't want to assume. Well, I know he's on a Shanghai card, but to be honest, like he fights like that city kickboxing like style. I think he's from New Zealand or Australia. Where's his flag? I think that's New Zealand he's from, but he does have that kind of city kickboxing-esque to his style. He looks like a primary kickboxer, but he has shown wrestling ability too. Like he's shown he gets force scrambles and wrestle if he needs to too. So we'll see how Hector Santiago comes about, but I just feel like if it's a primary striking match, it's going to favor Lawrence Louis. And if Hector Santiago is going to try to use wrestling, he's going to have to work pretty hard to take him down, because I feel like I like the scrambles and the wrestling ability of Lawrence Louis. So I'm going to go Lawrence Louis, the New Zealander, otherwise known as the Chinese fighter. I think he gets it done. He's probably not Chinese, bro. He is, it says, okay, anyways, who cares? But he's representing New Zealand, but I'm sure he's going to be getting a lot of love from the home crowd. I got Lawrence Louis winning, and we'll see how it goes. Next up, we got Zhao Long versus Francesco Nuzzi. This is another fight, guys. Like, it's like close from what I've seen, like the little things I've seen. Francesco Nuzzi, I was looking at a bit of the thing. He just looks game. He looks like he knows what he's doing to an extent. Then Zhao Long is never, like, he's never really been that great to me, but he shows up in fights, you know. He's kind of one of those Chinese fighters who I feel like puts their chin on the platter and they just swing, and if they get it done, they get it done. I don't know who's going to win this one between Long and Nuzzi. I feel like it's vibe maxing, like, especially these debutants. He's an Italian debutant. I don't know, man. This one I'm confused about. I think I'm going to trust Long to get it done, though. Long has not been showing that much success recently, but let's hope he could beat an Italian on a debut. Long at least shows me he's going to go in there and fight. I know Nuzzi has some talent, but I don't know enough about him to go him from what I've seen. It's very hard selective footage I've been seeing, so I'm going to go Zhao Long to get it done. Could be wrong about that one. I hate how annoying this card is to predict on. Some notable names I was talking about it earlier: Jack Jenkins versus Sean Woodson. I could see this fight going the distance, and I could see it being kind of a point maxing fight where the longer fighter might have the most success for majority of the fight. I know Jenkins going to wrestle. I know he's going to wrestle. Of course he's going to wrestle. It's on Sean Woodson to stuff it and keep it at range. He is coming off a loss. Woodson, when he flows nice. You know, I could see him almost finishing Jenkins, but not quite getting the job done. But Jenkins also very durable, but I feel like the length of Woodson should help him out here. Like I said, I know Jenkins is going to shoot. It's going to be a matter of how successful he is on the shot. I can see him succeeding, maybe not taking him down, but maybe holding him against the fence a bit. But I just feel like the decision maker is going to be the more significant strikes landed, and I feel like that's going to be from Sean Woodson's side. This is not even a wicked close lock, honestly. I'm not going to say it's a lock or anything, because I think anything could happen in this fight. But I do favor Sean Woodson over Jack Jenkins in this fight. So I think Woodson beats the Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Next up, Ray Tsuruya versus Kevin Borjas. Ray Tsuruya, this is a step up in competition, and y'all know I've been gassing Ray Tsuruya for a long time now. He's actually on my prospect list. You guys know, brother, this secret list. Maybe I'll let the prospect files out, brother. You know, I be keeping secret, you know. Those are like the secrets. I feel like I have like some unlocked characters in that thing that people forget, man. Ray Tsuruya is one of them. Of course, I watched a lot of footage on him, so I didn't really need to watch anything like to get used to him, because I know how good he is. He's coming off a win, of course. You know, I told people he was one of the best when he fought Van. They didn't believe me. I knew Van was going to win, but I just knew people were underestimating his grappling ability. He's the next generation of grapplers. He's going against Borjas. Borjas is actually really good, and he's actually a really tough test, and this is going to say a lot. What are the odds for this one? He probably should be pick him. See, this is why sometimes I question things. He should not be minus 600, because Borjas is a type that if you're standing with him for a long period of time, he could actually put it on you and hurt you. And Tsuruya has shown some greenness in the striking. You know, of course, it's going to be the grappling, though. And the grappling is like one of the bigger weaknesses I do see from Kevin Borjas, which is why I'm confident in Tsuruya. You know, and I love Tsuruya so much, but I like putting him on a leg just so risky with those odds, because he's such a big favorite for no reason. Like I said, he's the next generation of grappler. I think he's probably one of the best grapplers in the UFC today. I think he's like the only one who like really took Van down and was able to do anything with him. I think him and Tyra kind of remind me of each other in their grappling, but like they just have different sweeps, like the judo throws, the headlocks, the weird whip downs. Like Tsuruya's takedowns are just unique in itself. I'm on the hype train. I think he's one of the best. People will be sleeping on him. He's Japanese, of course, but he's gonna get some love, I believe, from the Chinese crowd. But we're gonna go right to Tsuruya for this one. I think he gets it done probably by submission. He probably submits Borjas, and if he doesn't, Borjas will just get grapple fucked to the final bell. Shout out my boy Ray Tsuruya. He's on the prospect list for a reason. Next up, this is a good one, I guess. Namzri Batbayar. Okay, I think I said that pretty good. The Mongolian versus Andre Lima. What are the odds for this? I'll probably pick him, right? Probably. Okay, no, plus 205 underdog for Batbayar. I cannot even say his name right. Damn it. Yeah, Lima. I was leaning Lima. I thought it was gonna be a close fight. That I was gonna lean Lima. I think Namzare has good power. You know, the grappling should be interesting in this fight because I feel like Namzare is gonna be the one who uses the grappling a bit more. I feel like on the feet it's gonna be fun. I just think Lima's more experienced in the UFC. I feel like he's just done more. I feel like Namzare has been used to going against some people. Like he's been getting some good finishes. From I remember knockout specifically, if I'm not mistaken, and like the road to UFC kind of thing. So like I feel like Lima's more tested, like battle tested. So I think Lima's the more confident pick for me in this one. So I'm gonna lean Andre Lima. This is probably gonna be a fun fight, as there's a lot of fights on this card. But I'm gonna go Lima. Lima has shown that he's prone to like getting a little bit tired, maybe breaking a little bit, but I don't think he's gonna break against Namzare, has been getting some early finishes. So we're gonna have to see how he looks when he's in that second and third round. So I think he's off 2 first-round finishes back-to-back. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm going to go Lima for this one. Brings it to the main card, and Bilal Hasan, who we just saw on the Dana White Terriers, if you were watching on the first week, I believe, he is really good, bro. He's chin. Poor Indian guy, bro. They give these Indian guys like the hardest people to deal with, bro. I mean, he was an Indian versus Indonesian, though, to be fair, but Bilal Hasan, he has aura. I like his essence. I like his speed. His kickboxing is really slick, really talented. Look at that. Look at how much strikes it says landed per minute after that Dana White Contender Series fight. They gave him essentially a layup. Kind of reminds me of the Anthony Witt fight. Like Anthony Witt won a Dana White Contender Series, gets put on the card very soon after. And he just gets a first round finish. I think it could be very similar to Hasan. I could see a first round knockout happening. I think Hasan will knock out Nilsson or Rojas. I don't even know much about him. Didn't even do too much research. I'm gonna be transparent, but I just feel like this is a cookie. They do this with a lot of people when they're building them up. Shout out Bilal Hasan for that first round knockout or second round knockout. Either way, I think he's gonna show finishing ability in this one. This one's an interesting one. We got Liu C versus Levy Rodrigues Jr. We've been seeing Levy Rodrigues Jr. coming in. He lost his 2 fights by knockout that we've seen him in the UFC and Dana White Contender Series. Was it a knockout? I think one of them was overturned, actually, or no contest or something. But I do remember him getting knocked out by, I think, Felipe Franco kind of just size-mogged him. You know, Rodriguez is not even bad. And I seen this Liu C guy. Is his name Lucy? Lucy Liu? Nah, I seen this dude as well. He's like a kickboxer who just keeps his chin in the air. Like, I don't even know what to make of this fight, to be honest. I'm sure the favorite is C. The odds aren't even on the website, but I'm sure he's the favorite. But like watching his footage wasn't convincing. You know, Levy. It's not like Levy's a world beater either, though. I'll be honest. Like it's not like Levy's like the next big thing. But even though Levy has been losing, I don't think it's a layup that the Chinese probably think it's gonna be. You know, it's gonna be a hard fight to pick. Honest, I hate this card, bro. I feel like I'm vibe maxing this whole. I'm gonna do so bad. Yo, I don't want to say it, but sometimes I got a bad feeling about this card. This card has so much weird ones. The odds don't really make sense for some of them. It's like weird fights, man. I can't do this, bro. Like I am actually gonna get annoyed. Yeah, I feel like Levy Rodriguez was undersized against Felipe Franco. Franco's a tank. I don't think this Louis C guy is a tank. I'm going to go Levy Rodriguez, probably underdog, but I'm just going to go him. I don't know. Like, I wish I could see the C guy's footage and be impressed, but I just wasn't. I wonder if he's like a minus 1,000. I'm making a huge mistake. Either way, I just don't know. I don't know. Levy's not even that great either, but I feel like Levy can make it ugly. I'm going to go Levy Rodriguez for the win. Why not? That's what I feel like. Okay, Alex Perez versus Sumadaerji. They actually had a no contest, both of them in their last fight. I feel like people kept saying Alex Perez wanted the easy way out because Suma was kind of putting the beats on him like Dr. Dre. I think I actually picked Alex Perez prior to that, and then like after watching that fight, I actually think Suma's gonna get it done against Alex Perez. I think yes, his striking looked really good in that fight. I remember his striking looked good. His defensive grappling looks straight. Perez is gonna probably try to grapple. I'm sure Perez is gonna come in more confident this time, like he's more prepared. But I think Sumu's gonna get it done pretty comfortably. I have good faith in him, especially after that recent performance. Even though it was a no contest, he showed a lot of promising aspects of that fight. So we're gonna go Sumu for the win. Maybe points. We'll see if Perez survives. If not, knockout. But I do like that fight. It's gonna be an interesting rematch. Do I even try to pronounce this name? Aoriqileng. Okay, we got the dude on the left versus Kaya Sakura. See, with Kaya Sakura, guys, the first thing you got to do, first of all, China versus Japan, shout out that. You know, the C dramas, man, and versus the fucking animes, man. Yeah, see, the smart ones know what I'm talking about. The ball knowers know, man, and we like anime over here. I never watched anime in my life. Outside of Naruto. Kai Sakura, what you got to do when you're picking this fight, look at the guy and can the guy grapple. Now, Lang doesn't grapple much. He just doesn't. Like, he's not in his arsenal. He actually loses a lot of fights because his grappling's not the greatest. He's probably going to grapple here. Time will have to tell, but I think he will, because if he tries to stand with Asakura, it might be a problem. I think Asakura just carries too much power in his limbs, his knees, his elbows, his punches, So I reckon he's going to get it done against Lang. It's going to be an interesting fight, but I feel like if it's on the feet, as much as I think it's going to be, I favor Asakura. Of course, he's at bantamweight. Asakura has fought at flyweight before, and now he's at bantamweight. Should be interesting there, but I feel like he's been cutting too much weight anyways, fighting at flyweight. I think he's more comfortable in bantamweight, so I'm gonna trust Asakura to get it done against Lang. Should be a fun fight though, so who knows? Oh, Yan Xianan, bro. You guys remember that one press conference? She was looking bad, bro. Like, that's really my John, bro. People forget, man. Like, me and her were like this, in hotel room. Versus Denise Gomes. Xianan's coming off a loss, but Xianan is rowdy. She's game. She's always down to scrap. She's gonna have the height advantage here. Her striking's actually not too shabby, and her defensive grappling's actually not too shabby too. I feel like her defensive grappling's also getting improved. Gomez is probably gonna go in there, try to scrap with her, realize the reach is a bit too much, probably try to wrestle there, but I feel like Xianan's gonna be hip to that. So I think I'm a girl. Xianan's gonna get it done. I be gassing up Wei Li, but like I think I jack Xianan better. I'm sorry though. I think that's the case. I think I'm liking the Xianan. The face pretty strong, look good. Like, this is my girl. I like her. I think she wins against Denise Gomez and gets the Brazilian out of there. Maybe by finish, we'll see. Because I feel like Xianan, if she's feeling confident in the home crown, she's gonna put on a great performance. But I think Yan Xianan wins. It's like a pick and fight, but I do have faith in her. Brings us to the main event of the evening. Like I said, we're going to do 100+ hours video. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the noties on, because that's probably going to drop tomorrow. Probably early tomorrow as well. Umar versus Yadong. Yadong's not bad. Yadong's only lost to the best. I was watching like Umar versus Corey back. That's a mutual opponent that they have, of course. Of course, Corey beat Yadong, but he lost to Umar. Umar is such a good kickboxer. Like, his kicking game is like unlike no other. He was just out striking Corey. I rewatched that fight, guys. He was just better than Corey on the feet, simply put like that. Like, Umar, I think people mistaken Umar for like a grappling heavy fighter. He's not. He's actually very much strike first. When you watch his footage, you know what I mean. He's very strike first. He does go for single legs, but they're like weak attempts. I actually don't think he's going to have much success at all against Yadong taking him down. I think Yadong's going to defend those single legs pretty well. I think it's actually going to come down to who could be the better striker in this fight, which is the interesting part that maybe not a lot of people realize. But I think objectively the better striker is Umar. I still got to watch some more Yadong fights. Yadong has some good boxing. He has good reactivity, sharp, him and Sugar were interesting. Like, it showed that he could scrap with a pretty good striker like Sugar, to an extent, and make it look close. But yeah, I just think Umar has different weapons, and the takedown threat of Umar is something he uses to his advantage. This is a 5-round fight. Umar's supposed to be 20-0. The dude's fucking 20-1 because they robbed him. They robbed him, man. They robbed him. They robbed him, man. They robbed him. Robbed him, man. Okay. No, I think they robbed him, I do think they did it. I think he beat him 3 rounds to 2, Marab, but it's okay, Marab. We'll come for you. I know you don't like us. Every interview you talk bad about us. Beat Peter Yan. Please beat this guy, Peter Yan. Let's fight. I want to see you again. Umar wants that rematch so bad as well, but Umar was saying things along the lines of he doesn't think Song Yadong is ready. Should be interesting. China time, I'm sure the little jet lag might affect Umar. Let's keep the little things into detail, But yeah, Yadong, I think he's a bit outmatched here. I just feel like Umar is objectively the trickier guy to strike with. His movement's very frustrating. He like moves a lot laterally, then he'll jump into a 1-2 here and there, and then jump into a question mark push kick and then low kick all in one sequence. He's very good with that front leg specifically. He is a southpaw, which is different than some people Yadong's used to. So Yadong has fought the southpaws, but like Umar switches stances a lot. I will say against Corey, it surprised me how much he was switching stances. I forgot Corey was actually getting that front leg a bit, so he was forcing Umar to switch stances, and Umar could still strike off the different stance. Umar's also the best back taker, I think, out of like that whole Dagestani group. He's kind of like the Russian Aljo in a sense. Like, he does a good job getting to the back. I would say Corey defended that better than I feel like most people would. I think Song's going to be game for it, but if Song's not careful when he thinks it's a striking match, he might get a single leg grabbed. Umar might switch from the single leg and go for a back take and try to get the hooks in, and that's just what makes Umar so difficult to deal with. He's such a crafty craftsman, Oh, I like that. He's a crafty craftsman. Hey, like, he's literally so crafty. His striking literally reminds me of Islam, just more polished and better. Yeah, I said it. Let me explain that though. Like, he does that little lean back thing where he leans back and hooks, but he's more like reactive off that and throws like kicks off that too. He's just very reactive. His one flaw that we see a couple times, he gets hit with something, gets kind of like flash dropped, you know. But like Umar makes choices not to get chin. His chin's pretty good, you know. I got to be honest, because he takes some good like hard shots well, some career-ending clean knees that should sleep people. It's like he like thinks about going cold. He's like, fuck that, I don't want to go cold. So I actually rate his chin. Song Yadong does have good power, but I'm not really worried about him knocking out Umar per se. You know, my biggest thing with Umar, I think he's a bit skinny for the weight class. I don't think he's that strong for the weight class. Like, maybe Umar can make 125. You know, he just doesn't want to cut weight because he always seems like he's a little bit weaker or, like, not the biggest and strongest person in his weight class, if that makes sense. But Yadong's a solid base. Like, he's a strong dude. They're both 5'8", but I feel like Yadong fills out a bit more for his frame, where I feel like Umar doesn't. So I feel like even though they might be the same height, I do think the strength advantage might actually favor Yadong, which just makes the scrambling that much more close and that much more interesting. But like I said, objectively, Umar is the more talented fighter, which is why I'm gonna go him. Like I said, let's finish up the footage, make a more in detail video tomorrow. But for now, I do think Umar Nurmagomedov gets it done against Song Yadong, who's great. I don't know the odds. With the odds, minus 500. These odds just get me angry sometimes. But yeah, Umar should win it, so that's not even a horrible thing. As far as a lay, if I told you guys to go a lay, I'd go Umar, Yan Xianan, and Sumadaerji. I like it, you know, them three. I don't think I'll touch anything else. Ooh, yeah. There's some other good ones, but yeah, some of them. Yeah, I like that three I just said. So follow that three-legger if y'all trust in the Kenny lay. Let me know what you guys think about UFC China and UFC Shanghai in the picks down below. It's just for me. God bless. 2, 3.